This is the Entrepreneur's Seat with your host, Randy Goldbaum, where entrepreneurs share their stories behind their success, struggles, and most importantly, their why.
This is Randy. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Seat, where entrepreneurs share their stories behind their success, the struggles, wins, and most importantly, the why. Introduce yourself and tell us who you are and your story.
Tibor Klein, owner of ZJAM Corp. ZJAM, my 4 kids' initials, Zach, Julian, Ariella, Mia.
That's why you're bald. 4 kids, that'll do it.
Well,
has nothing to do with the entrepreneur. It has to do with the 4 kids.
And they're also my why, right?
Right.
Why do we do things? I want my kids to have the things I didn't have, although there's always this internal dialogue that by giving our kids the advantages that we didn't have, we actually make them weaker.
Well, that's fact. That is the truth. But it's in our gut that we got to do that.
So I want them to be resilient and strong and have thick skin and appreciate the real value of the life that they have. I mean, Dix Hills, Melville. We are in that 1%, whether we like it or don't like it, or 2% or whatever number you want to give it. But like my kids don't know what it's like not to have.
It's fact.
I feel like, again, I'm going off on a tangent a little bit here.
No, but it's all part of the journey, being an entrepreneur. This is your why, so it's very important to you.
Yeah. So anyway, they are my why.
But what's your business?
So ZJAM is the master distributor of 2 products. One is Basecrete, which is a waterproofing and concrete resurfacing product. We are in Lowe's. Every store in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area carries the product. We're in about 200 stores I would say in the Northeast, New England, DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York area.
And it sounds to me you couldn't be there at a better time with these weather systems that we're having here. It's that we get the rain of like we're on an island in the Philippines someplace.
Right. Good thing there's no climate change.
Right. Good thing.
And the other product is Envirobiotics, which is a really cool product. I'm spending a great deal of time on this one right now. It's a probiotic-based air and surface purification system. That's the only product on the planet that uses environmental probiotics in this way to purify and rebalance indoor environments. It's the only product in the entire category with EPA approval. Really, really cool product.
It is but it is a really, really cool product. I have one in my house, and my daughter has terrible allergies, and whatever goes on in the house, gone.
Yeah,
absolutely great product.
So I can say the same thing. My youngest and my wife have asthma, and they still have asthma. We didn't cure their asthma. Right. However, they hardly use their inhalers in the house anymore because the environmental probiotics actually eliminate pollen and dander and dust mite allergens and mold spores. So all of the things that would trigger someone's allergies or asthma or respiratory conditions, are eliminated from that environment, and it actually creates a hypoallergenic
and I love
environment.
I love this synergy between the 2 products you're doing, because I have to believe if somebody has a water issue.
Right. If they have a water issue, it's likely that there would be odor. They may be mold, mildew. So this would eliminate the odor by actually eliminating the bacteria that causes the odor, not by masking the odor. And it also would prevent the recurrence of mold because it eliminates the mold spores before they actually germinate into living mold. So,
terrific.
Those are the 2 products that that I distribute, and then I'm heavily involved in the projects where the products are used. I work with engineers, with architects, with consultants, and a lot of projects that involve waterproofing or resurfacing. And I spend a tremendous amount of time with Lowe's, specifically with the Lowe's outside sales team. So most people don't even know, if you say Lowe's, well, yeah, they have.
You think the box stores.
You think of the stores. So Lowe's has an entire sales force, I think almost 2,000 sales reps nationwide, that spend their time outside of the stores, focusing on all different verticals. They have hospitality, they have big commercial accounts that would handle municipalities, hospitals, nursing home chains, universities.
And those are all to the trade, I guess, right? That's not public facing.
No, well, they're facing those types of customers.
I get it,
They're
I
out
get
in the
it.
field. And they have
Right.
their national accounts teams where, for example, like I know right next door to where we're filming, there's a Restoration One franchise.
right.
So Restoration One is a national franchise owned by Stellar Service Brands. I was just with Lowe's in Tempe, Arizona, at the national conference for Stellar Service Brands, where they brought together all of their Restoration One franchisees from around the country. So I do a lot of travel with Lowe's as a national account partner, and I am in the Lowe's booth as a guest vendor with the Envirobiotics products, or at times with both products.
That's impressive. That's not an easy partnership, I'm sure, to make happen. So you must be really bringing innovation to them, and they see the opportunity to differentiate themselves from other Lowe's type of environments.
So
to their
both
clients.
products are very effective. Both products have some really unique attributes. The focus with this, with most of the travel, especially on the restoration side, has been on Envirobiotics,
Right.
because it is a completely unique product. It really isn't.
And you don't have to have a basement to use it, so it's anywhere.
No, yeah, any indoor environment.
Right.
Like we have it, I'll give you an example. You were talking to Travis. He was, used to play for the Nets on their
Right,
practice court.
right.
So we have it in the Brooklyn Nets practice facility. They sent us a testimonial. We eliminated the odor of their facility.
Well, there you go. That's a big win.
Yes, that
That's a big
definitely
win.
was a big
Now
win.
they just have to win.
Yeah,
that's a whole different concept. Let's not
so
get into
we
that.
removed the stink from the practice
But
facility,
not necessarily from the team.
court. Right.
I get it.
But-
So let me ask you more about you right now. We're going to circle back about your product. So, the reason that we do this is because I think there's a lot of people out there that want to make the next step, but they're afraid and they don't know how to. So what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
As far back as I could remember, childhood, growing up in Brooklyn as a Generation Zero immigrant, always wanted to work for myself, but I always had that entrepreneurial mentality. Like, I remember I was in high school, and starter jerseys were like a popular thing to wear, and we didn't have in Brooklyn, we didn't have BJ's or Costco. But my father worked in Long Island. He used to shop at BJ, so I went there with him once, and I saw they sold starter jerseys. So I bought starter jerseys at Costco, and I sold them in my school in Brooklyn. And I was making $10 a jersey.
But that's entrepreneurship.
But that that mindset.
Was there a ha-ha moment that you said, I can't do this? I can't work 9 to 5. I can't work for somebody else.
So I never had a 9 to 5 job. Even the jobs I had working for other people were always sales related, where it was, and a lot of it was commission based, not salary. So it was always the hunter gatherer, right? You eat what you kill.
Right.
And so I would be one of the first in, and like early on, cold calling, right? Making 300, 400 phone calls in a day, that's not fun. Getting the
That's
phone
hard to do.
smashed in your face.
Right.
But I tell you, one thing that it did is it built thick skin. Another thing I did,
which is super important,
yes,
especially in this journey you're on.
In sales, I mean, persistence and thick skin, like those are must-haves.
Must-have.
And another, fast forwarding in my life, I was Shaggy's business manager, right?
Shaggy the performer?
The performer. Mr. Boombastic wasn't me, Angel.
I love it.
They used to call me the Jew-Macon. But
and the funny thing is, you're Irish Catholic. No one even knew.
Yeah, right.
So you were his manager?
His business manager.
His business manager.
So I didn't manage his musical career. I managed his finances. But he used to say to me, he said all the time, he said he's never met anybody with thicker skin than me. Thick skin is an absolute requirement.
Agreed, because you can't take it personal. It's not personal.
No.
It's not personal.
No, not at all. And you got to have that mentality of every no brings you closer to a yes.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter.
And every no is not a no.
Right. You got to be also learn how to overcome those no's, right? So unless that conversation has ended, right, because there's a dial tone or the door is shut, the conversation is still going.
Agreed.
So, again, it was always, sales. And then it became, how can I sell to benefit myself rather than being on someone else's hamster wheel.
Right.
And that's how it evolved. But yeah, I've worked for myself since 2002. Different businesses, different industries.
What was your why when you finally look at yourself in the mirror?
I always wanted to be my own boss. But I learned that, there's a glamorous side to being, that is the client facing or world facing of being a business owner. Just saying, oh, I own my own business, it's glamorous, right? It's like saying, oh, I own real estate, it's glamorous.
Right.
Nobody talks about the, I'll say the dark side of it, but it's not really a dark side, but I'll just use that term. When you own real estate, nobody tells you about the phone calls you get, my toilet's clogged in the middle of the night, or you get a phone call from your property management company that somebody turned a bathroom of one of your rentals into a meth lab.
Yeah, right.
Or there was a crime committed in one of your properties, and now you got to deal with the police. Like there's or you're chasing rent and you can't evict somebody.
No, they see you sitting as the owner. They think, wow, look at this guy. Look how lucky he is.
So there's a glamorous side to being the owner of real estate or being a business owner, right? That's the fascia, right? That's what everybody sees.
Right.
The backside that people don't see is it's hard work. It's perseverance. It's long days. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's having that thick skin. It's putting the time in. It's overcoming challenges. It's the ability.
It's all the above.
Yeah, it's the ability to get knocked down and for it to just be an automatic to get back up again.
Because if you don't get back up, no one's there to pick you up.
Right.
It's on you.
Yes.
It's on you.
And you're responsible. If you have employees, their pay comes before yours.
Always.
You're responsible for making sure that they eat before you eat. And
I was talking to somebody earlier exactly what you're saying, and I was telling them that a salesperson who had worked for me was talking about how commission only doesn't work for him. And I said, as a business owner, I'm on commission only every day, every single day. And so are you. I mean, it's the same thing.
Listen, commission only is the definition of self-belief, right? If you're willing to work for commission only, that's like saying, I believe in myself.
I know what I can do.
Yeah, I know what I'm capable of. So I rather a much higher commission payout rather than a much lower commission payout with some level of security of salary, that now binds me, as an employee.
To that, you're handcuffed to that.
Right. So, I've always believed in myself and my ability. I always believed, always do the right thing, always tell it like it is, and always be yourself. Right?
So those are
three things.
Those are really important things. Say those one more time because someone's listening. You got to have core values.
Always tell it like it is. Always be yourself, and always do the right thing. Yeah, always do the right thing.
I always say, don't do what's easy, do what's right.
Yeah, and listen, like those things are not easy. They're very easy to say.
No, but to do it is something else.
Always tell it like it is tough, right? Sometimes that means you got to tell somebody something they don't want to hear. Always be yourself. Like someone might not like.
You may not be their flavor.
Right. Well, I think it really is. If you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything nice, right? Just tell it like it is.
You got to tell it like it is.
And I think if the universe had more of those three things, and then again, they're not easy, the world would be a better place.
Fact. I know growing up, my grandfather always tell me, if you're doing the right thing, you don't have to look over your shoulder. And as a person, as a business person, as a father, I walk with my head straight. So we're saying the same thing. You got to have the good values. So when you started ZJAM, okay, what was the biggest challenge back in the early days when you look back?
So ZJAM started out in 2002 as Klein Financial Corp, and the name was changed. We had a wealth management business, very successful, 20 plus years. That ended.
We as you?
We as me. Plus, I had a team of people under me. I had 7 employees. Mm-hmm. That ended rather abruptly. And again, I'll go back to what we were saying, and I believe you're previous guest said this also. It's not always roses and rainbows, right?
No, not always.
Sometimes you got to face up to mistakes that you make, or things that went sideways, that where you made a decision and the decision was wrong. So
Right.
I had one of those defining moments in my life. I made a mistake, lost the business, had to take a little vacation for 6 months.
Okay.
Came back and started from zero. Absolute zero.
And let's talk about that. You come back from your little vacay. You're starting from zero. You have your kids,
I have 4 kids and a wife in Melville.
a mortgage, a dog,
Mortgage,
the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. Came back, at 45, 46 years old, and it literally started with no job, no income, no savings,
Wow.
no prospects.
Wow.
Nothing, zero. And this is where I, talk about thick skin and getting knocked down and getting back up again. Like, you can wallow in that, or you can stand up and open your eyes and open your ears. And, if you've done those 3 core values, then you have great relationships in the universe.
But you just said something. Can I just interrupt one second? So, to me, it sounds like a big challenge, a big mountain to climb. Here you are back. You everything that you just discussed, not having income, not having a revenue. So tell me what that first couple of weeks was. Were you able to get out of your own way immediately, or were you in your head for a while? I mean, that's important stuff, because people are going through different things, and sometimes what you're thinking is so overpowering to what you're actually capable of doing.
You can't. You can't dwell. You can't, your kids can't not, whatever it is, right? Like, the mortgage has to be paid, And listen, thankfully, I have a supportive family, and
You got help and whatever during that period, right? I get it.
But yeah, you can't dwell on it. You can't take a week or two. One of the things I try to teach my kids: time is the most valuable asset on this planet.
Agreed.
It is the only thing that you can never get more of, get back. So if you waste it, it's gone. Like money, I've lost money.
Money you can make
You
again.
can make more. I've been sick.
You'll get healthy, hopefully,
healthy,
God willing.
right? Exactly. I mean, unfortunately, obviously, some illnesses you can't, but
Right.
Big picture, you get sick, you get you could get healthy. You gain weight, you can lose weight. But time, once it's gone, it's gone. So I've always believed that I categorize things in 3 buckets: things you can control, things you can influence, things you can do nothing about. And then I look at my time, which is finite, and I try, and this is so hard to do. It is like ridiculously hard to do, but try to spend my time as much as possible on things within my control, and then less of my time on things that I can influence, and then little to no time on things out of my control, which is the hardest thing to do.
It's the hardest thing, because for some reason we're all gravitating towards those things.
In that moment in time, there are things that fit into those 3 buckets, and I have to be laser focused with my time on the things, mostly in bucket 1 and some in bucket 2, to try to get myself on a path.
Yeah.
And I started on multiple paths, and listen, the universe takes us to twists and turns, and came COVID, and that opened a ton of entrepreneurial opportunities and reconnected with a lot of people. And again, if you do those 3 core values through your business life, the relationships that you're going to create are going to last regardless of how much adversity you go through, because you're real.
Right.
You're not fair weathered. And
you're consistent.
Right. And when you go through a difficult time in your life, you will find out very quickly who your friends really are.
That's fact.
And who falls off by the wayside very quickly as soon as you're not on top anymore.
Right.
And
that's very important. That's very important. The truth is that your problems are your problems, and nobody cares. But you want people to be supportive of you.
But there are some people that do care, and they show during those tough times that they do care. And those are the people that you want to hold on to and keep close to you and make sure that you're there
for them.
For them.
Should they?
And, like, there are definitely people that, step up, and there's people that step out.
Fact. So is that story that you just told, what happened to you and the journey you've been on, is that what motivates you to get up every morning knowing that you've been there once and you don't want to be there again, and you're going to work every day to be the best version of yourself in both an entrepreneur, businessman, husband, and all that fun stuff?
So success is like a drug. It's an obsession. Right, and I know you and me, we're obsessed with this idea of success, right? And we each have a different definition
right.
of, what is success to you might be very different than what success
What's
is
success
to
to
me.
you?
I want to own my own time. I saw an interview once with Mark Cuban talking about, somebody asked him a question, what is the greatest thing about being a billionaire? And he said, I own my own time. He said, everyone else is on my time. I am on nobody's time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And, and he gave the example, which I don't necessarily think is a great example because I think it's kind of disrespectful to other people. But he said, I don't care what time a meeting starts because it doesn't start until I get there.
But he can say that, but I get it.
He can say that because he owns their time. They're working for him. They're being paid to sit there and do nothing and talk amongst each other.
You know what's funny? Every guest that we've had on the show, two consistent things are saying: collaboration and time. But all the entrepreneurs talking about how important it is to collaborate, not operate in a silo, and how important time is. And you got to manage your time because everybody's saying the same thing. It's fact. You're not getting it back.
Yeah, time is precious, and the other thing, which talking about time is something that bothers me, and I talk about it all the time, and I can't undo it because of the world that we live in and how we're conditioned to work. But I know me, and I think you and a lot of other people, we live to work. We don't work to live.
Yeah.
And I know, I have friends that work to live. I mean, I have friends in Europe that will take an entire month off.
Yeah, but Europe is a different mentality.
But even here, like I would love to enjoy the things that I enjoy that give me pleasure, that that I like to do. I don't really get to do nearly as much, if at all, because I'm working. I got to be here. I got to be there. I have a conference call.
But you do have a balance, right?
Not enough of a balance. Not enough of a balance.
So how do you balance your ambition with your family, your health, and your life? Like, how do you do that? I know you say it's not enough, but you're also a father of 4 kids. You have a wife, like you said, so...
It's very difficult. I mean, I do my best to be at the games and attend the things, and, my wife is tremendous when it comes to the kids. I mean, she was home for 16 years with the kids, and, she's working now a number of years, and, still she's tremendous in terms of picking up a lot of the weight with the kids, and it's hard.
Yeah.
4 kids between the doctor's appointments, and you go through bar mitzvah season and Sweet 16 season.
All that fun stuff.
And the birthday parties and the sports, they're athletics, so they get soccer and gymnastics and wrestling, and so it's a lot. It's a lot. So, you sacrifice the things that you want to do, and you also obviously part of what you want to do is be there and experience your kids growing up.
Of course.
So part of it is that, but a lot of the things that I would do, I can't do because my time is allocated elsewhere, and I just can't make more time.
Unfortunately, and the business is one of your kids.
Yes.
Your business is one of your kids. Just like you said, if you're not there for your kids, no one's going to be. If you're not there for the hamster wheel's going to stop, and we can't have that wheel stop. You have great things going on. So I ask everybody who comes on this show, for those that are listening, what's a book that you've listened to or read that you would recommend to every entrepreneur?
I'm a terrible person to ask that question because I do.
Yeah, but so maybe it's a speaker that you listen to.
Honestly, I haven't.
Maybe it's me.
So I listen. I don't know. I don't. This is one where I would lack a good answer because I've I've never enjoyed reading.
Got it.
And so I've done little of it.
So I'm going to send you an audio book that I want you to listen to. I'm going to send it to you, and then I'm going to.
And I'm gonna tell you I make no promises.
Well, I'm going to drive you nuts. So I'm going to ask you a different question then before we say goodbye. If someone listening had a dream and they're afraid to take a leap, especially you have a unique story, what would you tell them?
Go for it, but plan. Think it out.
Write it down.
Yeah, write it down. Talk to people that have gone through similar experiences.
If somebody wanted to reach out to you, if somebody's out there and they're an entrepreneur, could they reach out to you? And
I am an open book. I throw the rope over for the next guy over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's been and again, that's a common theme that we hear. So collaboration. I'm happy to help and time.
Yeah,
so,
I have. I volunteer to help. I am happy to talk to people.
You do one thing with your kids before we say goodbye. What you give back. Tell everybody what you do.
We volunteer at the Gerald Ryan Outreach Center in Wyandanch, and we do multiple things there. They do a Christmas toy handout. They do turkey and food handouts. Thanksgiving. They have a clothing thing that they do. They give out clothes to people.
And you do that with your kids.
Yeah, my two sons and I have been volunteering. I've been doing it for 4 years now. My older son, 3 years, and my younger son just started this year. But they do with the Suffolk County PAL, they do a free soccer clinic for disadvantaged kids at Wyandanch Park for a few months. So we volunteer coach the kids that come to this clinic, and each kid gets a shirt. They get a snack. They get a bottle of water, and it's
and they get a $10 coupon for Basecrete.
Yeah, but it's on a serious note. It's actually sad that within such close proximity to us, some of these kids, this is the only meal that they'll have that day.
Oh my God! But Tibor,
some of them live with grandparents. Some of them have been trafficked.
It's terrible.
We gave out a soccer ball to every kid. Like the smiles on these kids' faces.
Like that's something
It's unbelievable. That outreach center also does a summer camp where kids go for free. I mean, and I sponsored a couple of weeks ago the ice cream truck for all the kids in the camp to get
wonderful.
Ice cream. But otherwise they wouldn't have ice cream.
But what's amazing is that you're running a business, you're running a family. Time is a commodity, but you still find time to give back to the community. It's not all about Tibor. It's not all about ZJAM. It's about the community, helping others. The first thing I asked you when I said to you right away, if somebody was listening and they wanted to learn your journey and speak to you about your obstacles, you didn't say, I don't have time. Right away, absolutely call me.
There are people that do that for a living, which I don't get, but like some of the people that work there's only 2 full-time employees that are paid, salaried at the outreach
in that
center.
group you're talking about. Wow.
And everyone else are volunteers. I mean,
tremendous.
These are people that are so selfless and give of themselves so much that,
the truth is, in core, people are good. Deep down, people are good.
In most cases.
In most cases.
In most cases, unfortunately, not all. This country is incredible, going through some difficult times. The world as a whole, I think, is a beautiful place. We just got to take care of it. So many incredible people with so many different stories and journeys and experiences, to be shared. I'm glad I'm able to share mine.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad that you came on today and you shared your story. I think that not only is it inspirational, but learning about you as a person and what your values are, incredible. And I'm happy that you're in my sphere of influence. You're a good friend and a great business partner. And I really enjoyed speaking with you and you taking the time out of your busy day and coming down and sitting with us on the Entrepreneur Seat.
I appreciate the invite. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, and I feel the same way.
My man.